Is it episode 8?
Yeah.
Episode 8. We're back with the boss man. Lee is in the building. Tree is not here. Grandma's not here, but it's okay. We're gonna make it work with 3 people. I guess we'll start with the Chiefs game yesterday, since that's what everybody's talking about. I really don't see what the dilemma is here. He's obviously offsides. Like,
Man, go ahead, Lee.
Look, I think there's a two sides to this, and it's hard to. The problem isn't. I think it's a reaction, man. And I agree. Yeah, it was a play. It was a crazy play. If you watch the whole play, Kelsey pitches it back to Tony, and then Tony goes there for the touchdown. Right? It's an amazing play, but he was offsides.
Big time.
I mean,
big time. He was where the linebackers was placed. I mean, not really, but
I mean, there's plenty of calls that goes both ways every day. I mean, there's holdings that are missed, pass interferences that are missed. I mean, hands to the face that are missed, face masks that are missed. You're gonna sit here and say this one play decided the whole game, right? That's why you play. That's the whole case. You don't play 60 minutes for nothing. I think Mahomes went a little over the edge. I think you can start to feel the pressure from Kansas City right now.
Yeah.
Here they lost 2 in a row, I think.
Well, they're 8-5.
Yeah, I mean, they're tied. One game from Denver or something like Denver's one game away.
Yeah.
Denver, a team that went 0-3 to start the season.
Yeah.
I mean, you're starting to feel some pressure finally. I mean, you're not walking into the playoffs because you've been playing in the
cupcake.
Yeah,
but my thing is, it was bigger than that because Tony, I picked him on my fantasy pick, but he was talking trash all year round with the New York Giants, talking about because he didn't really show up with the Giants all year when he was signed with them, and then all of a sudden when he got traded to the Kansas City, they make that Super Bowl run and he gets a Super Bowl ring. And so the offseason, he was talking about his rap career and stuff like that and trolling the Giants fans. And then I had to release him from my fantasy.
He actually dropped like 3 passes the first game of the season against the Lions, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's hard to sit there and say.
The Chiefs are the worst team right now with the drops.
Yeah. Is it because he's gunslinging it in there like an old Brett Favre where it's just coming so fast, I wonder. I mean, Kelsey's not dropping it, but, that's a whole different story.
It is.
But what I'm more interested in is, like, how he handled it after the game. Did you see him going to greet, Josh Allen?
I mean, I'm still a fan, just like I'm a fan of Deion's, but he did lose some cool points with me with his little temper tantrums. I mean, he was clearly outsides. And then he was really... My thing is, when you're in the heat of moment, just take a chill pill, just relax, and then, realize what the world is seeing. Because the guy was so far offsides, he was not where I say he was with the linebackers, but he was basically where the defense ends were. And then Mahomes was complaining about that the refs should say, give him a warning, say they should give him a warning and say
check in and then
but the referees was saying he was so far offsides, it was beyond a warning. Mm-hmm. So he was lined up where the center, past the center.
So that call has been called 11 times this year. Offsides on the offense. 3 of them have come, or 2. That's the second or third one for a wide receiver. The other 8 are when they do that, like the Eagles do that tush play where they just push forward. And yeah. That's the other 8 times that it's been called is in that formation.
Wow.
So I mean, look, here's the thing. It's like speeding, right? Everybody's allowed to speed, then all of a sudden the cop sits there and is where you've been speeding your whole day, and you get a ticket.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You've been doing it doesn't mean it's okay. It just means you got away with it for that long.
Right.
Here we are in a situation where they've been doing it, they got away with it, and now they're being held accountable, and nobody likes it. Right? I think the NFL has, they want to reel in some of the rules. I mean, they're pretty much letting.
Yeah, because if that play would have stand, it would have been probably won the game.
Yeah. It could have. Yeah. You never know. I mean, you look at the playoff game a couple of years ago where they were going back and forth down the field within,
With the Bills,
so it could have been anything. But for me, Mahomes has been the respect of the league. You know, he's never acted like this. He's never gone off like this. You've never seen it from him. Is it upsetting? Yeah, because he has been respected. But I'll give him this. Everybody gets a pass. I get he's emotional. This is his one time. Don't let it happen again, man. You want to be the face of the league. You got to be the face of the league.
Even when the rules don't go your way.
Even when the plays don't go. Even when the calls don't go your way. Don't be the LeBron of the NFL.
Right.
Please, don't be the LeBron of the NFL.
I wish Tree was here right now. Because we'll piggyback on that some other time.
But I'm not gonna lie though. As much as he looked like a baby, that's what I did whenever I lost a game.
Because he cared.
Yeah,
he cared.
But I'm not saying it's the right thing. I'm just saying like I cared so much and I was so competitive that like I wouldn't shake hands with the team after I lost.
That's bullshit. Though.
I would literally walk by with my hand, and then my dad.
That's a respect for the game.
And then my dad would rip me.
Yeah.
He pulled me to the side and make me go apologize.
See, that's a respect for the game.
But I was so pissed that we lost. I cannot take it. I cannot stand.
But my thing is, and I know this is hard for you because you deal with a lot of people, right? But my thing is, he put all his eggs in his basket, but that guy was inconsistent. But what I'm saying, he put his legacy, well respected, Mahomes, on somebody that's been trash talking all year, inconsistent, to see if he actually did it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Because if he was to take a chill pill and actually see what happened, the guy was so far offside, it wasn't even in comparison. The guy was lined up past the center.
Yeah, I heard another weird stat today. So, Andy Reid has coached for years, right? I think he's coached 21,500 offensive plays or something along those lines.
Damn.
And that's the first time that's ever been called.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
Damn.
So what you
for
think?
him, right? So I mean,
what you think that is?
I mean, I'm just like, wow. Now, does that mean it's never been called because they just let it go?
But do you get what I'm saying?
Or has it never been called because it never happened to him?
But Tony has been talking shit to the Giants fan base
I
all year round, all off season, just bragging about his championship ring, and then he's.
I think players make mistakes. I think it was look. The Bills are a competitive team. I think the Chiefs, they saw a game where they took the lead. It was kind of taken away from whatever you want to look at it, and they got emotional with it. That's why I'm like, like you said, back in the day, I would have been pissed. Call didn't go my way. I would have shook the hands, let it be, move on to the next week, right? That's why you play 17 games, 18 games in a season. So
because one game ain't gonna decide. I got you.
I will say though, Tree said that last week the Bills are gonna win out and they just beat the Chiefs. So. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You see what happened with Dylan Raiola? You see what's happening?
Tell me about it.
They're saying that he's gonna flip to Nebraska.
The fuck is that?
To Nebraska?
Yeah.
Why?
Dude, Nebraska is recruiting big time right now.
Raul, the guy
from Georgia, the one that's
I know, but the coach is the guy that Rule.
Oh, Matt Rule.
Yeah, Matt Rule.
And they might get the Ohio State quarterback to transfer there.
You know why he's doing that, to be honest with you? Because the quarterback for Georgia is staying another year. Because his draft stock is not good.
Yeah,
and
but
he's not playing bad.
I don't think he was coming in thinking he's going to start over Carson Beck.
Yeah, he did. He's bruh. Tell him about these.
And 5-star Brock Vandagriff.
I got you, but that's what coming. Hardly anybody comes in and starts the first year
over a current starter.
Yeah, this was a guy who went.
He wasn't expecting Beck to do what Beck did. Beck was supposed to be either suck it up. Georgia was supposed to be not Georgia, and that's the reason why. But Beck had the best stats than Stetson.
Tyreek Hill just got hurt.
Yeah.
How bad?
Oh my God,
looks pretty bad.
He's on the ground squirming around.
Yeah. Sorry to break from what we were discussing, but we're watching the game as we do this, and Tyreek Hill is down. If you didn't know me last week, that's
your guy.
Yeah, that's the guy I think changes it all.
Oh my God.
He's up and walking around though, so
Hopefully,
If he's
he looks a little sore.
it looks
hobbling.
like ankle more than anything. He was grabbing his knee.
Yeah.
I don't know, but back to Nebraska. I think Nebraska, dude, that's another team I want to be good. I want the Florida schools to be good. I want Nebraska to be good. I want
all
Texas
the Florida
to be
schools
Yeah.
or just Florida
Yeah,
State?
actually, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell
It's
you
so
right
much
now.
more interesting.
When Florida State was down and we were kind of okay or we were doing good, I hated it because it's just
It's not the same.
we want,
right?
yeah, man. We want
There's
to
no, yeah.
when we have those games when Florida State plays Miami, they don't want to know that they're going to win, right? When Florida plays Florida State, they don't. Well, I don't. You know, we knew we were going to lose this year, but we don't want that to be the case. We want to go in. We want to go. You know, 2 top 10 teams going at it. You know, I remember Nebraska in the 90s, man. They were a dominant force. Tommy Frazier was there, so I mean, it's not like they don't have the. I think the backing is from the NIL.
Yeah.
All the transfer porter stuff,
So it can
stuff.
be even across the field.
It's getting them back in the game where they need to be, and I think that I mean it's Nebraska. They got some big Cornhusker boys out there. You know, and
Yeah.
that's why I remember playing them in I think it was '95 or something like that, in Arizona. Man, they destroyed that Florida team. Tommy Frazier got tackled by 3 guys on one play and he didn't go down and ran it for like 55 yards. It was a crazy game, but I mean they need to be back. You know, they've watched Michigan and Ohio State be on their run. Nebraska's going to come back and be on their run. Florida State had some. I think it just comes around and goes around. I mean, I think look, Alabama's obviously in the moment for these last years with Saban, but prior to that they were down for a little while. They had it in the early 90s, but before that, they were, so I think every college team has that little bit, but if you get stuck in it, which, there are schools that are stuck in it right now, it's hard to get out, man. Yeah. I mean, that's why people are jumping ship at other schools and they're going to their competition.
Yeah. Yeah, Trevor Etienne.
Trevor Etienne. So
might go to Georgia.
Right? Of all the places.
At Florida. How could you go?
Because there's no loyalty. That's what it is. It's no loyalty. It's about,
you really don't think, though, as a player for Florida, you're not like, fuck Georgia?
No. That's for boosters.
I think you are. I think there's some of that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think there's some of that, but I also think there's...
What can you do for me?
If I'm on a team that's going 5-7... am I still getting looked at like I would if I was on a team going 10-1 or 11-0? And I mean, think about it. Alabama has like a whole football team in the NFL.
I got a question. Jake Cutler, you remember him from Vanderbilt?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt never had a winning season, in my belief. But yet he went first round and he made a decent career. But Jake Cutler.
I'm not even arguing like him transferring. It's more of like,
how do you go?
Why would he not go to like Clemson?
He doesn't want his brother. He doesn't want to follow that footstep. I don't think. Here's the thing. Why didn't he go to Florida State? I mean, that's another rival, I guess.
Maybe that's the difference between being a fan and being a player of the school.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
It's
a business for them.
Go to Miami. There's no way. There's nothing in me that would ever let me go to Miami.
So here's the thing. You say that, but I bet when you have a kid. If they go to Miami,
no, they're not allowed. They would be. If my kid got a scholarship to Florida, it might happen. Miami, no way. There's no way. I have zero respect for them. It's just like, such a thug ass program.
Damn.
I just cannot stand. They're just. Oh my god.
But you know what? But you know what though? I know. I don't know if I sent you this clip. With Kirk Herbstreit, where and I know it's not relevant at this time. I think it was with
when we had Willie Taggart.
You saw? I sent it to you.
Yeah.
And he said y'all was thugs and y'all was tackling and standing over people and stuff like that. And
that was right. Because we're like, dude, we're getting our asses kicked and we're celebrating like.
But he said he felt bad for Willie Taggart.
No, Willie Taggart. If you watched FSU practice. The music was so loud, and players have came out and talked about this. Like, the linebackers after practice, they're supposed to you have meetings with the linebackers coach. They didn't have that. they went to each other's dorms and just studied film because they didn't have a linebacker coach that would like pull them aside.
They took it serious.
Yeah. And the music's just blasting. Like Jimbo, when he was a coach, and I don't like Jimbo, if you messed up in practice, he made you go back in and start the whole practice over.
Damn.
Taggart, it was just like, oh, you fucked up, and we just keep going, we just go to the next play.
You was gonna say something. Like, what was you gonna say?
No, I mean, I just like. I think schools want to be better. I think I think players. That's what NIL has done. It's caused this no loyalty program, right? I can go. I mean, look, you got a guy leaving Ohio State, right? One of the top programs in the country, to go to possibly Nebraska. You know, and I'm not saying he won't perform there. I mean, it just, or even Oregon, or I mean, it just there's no loyalty. You know, you have Bo Nix who left Auburn to go to Oregon, right? And it is kind of good for the sport. But it also, for us as fans, we look at it as a perspective.
But it betters the players because, like, I'm an SEC guy.
Yeah, but here's the thing: we always talk about the good players. We talk about the good players that it helps, but we don't. The problem with that is we don't know all the players it doesn't help. We don't know all the players that went to. We'll just use Florida since I'm a Florida fan. Mm-hmm. They go to Florida. Florida goes and signs an NIL player, right? And then they put this guy off to the wayside. Well, what happened to that guy? He was loyal. He's the one who was trying to be loyal to a school. He's the one who said, yeah, I'm going to come to this school. And he got cut for some guy from Wisconsin.
It's a dirty business, but that's how life is.
There's so many pros and cons to it.
Yeah, that's how life is at this day. My question is, you're talking about that. So, me being an SEC guy and an Alabama fan.
And Auburn
fan. So I'm an state of Alabama fan. So this kid, five-star cornerback from Clay Chalkville in Birmingham. It's a high school. It's a powerhouse high school. They converted him from a cornerback. He's a five-star cornerback that plays for his high school. They converted him to play quarterback for his high school because I guess their quarterback for the season got hurt. So they moved this five-star cornerback to play quarterback. Check this out. Now this is what bothers me because this is how you know what the world is changing to. He just finished his high school championship game this past week. He won the championship. Guess where he's going this week? He's going to bowl prep for Alabama. I think that is so crazy. Bowl prepping. How can a kid live their life if he's in high school? He's in high school. He's a senior he just won a championship in high school this week. But this week he's going to Tuscaloosa to help them prep for the bowl season. And he will get a ring if they was to win it all. Where do you think that goes from? Where do you think that's why I think NIL and the love of the game goes to hell because it's over money. They don't give a fuck about this kid. He's a high schooler and they expect him to compete.
I mean, look at IMG Academy if you ever needed that.
I know.
And look,
I know.
IMG is literally a sports school. That's literally what
but
they
do. Say it's more, but it's really sports.
Yeah, it's literally sports.
Yeah,
I mean, you go to class for like 2 hours and then you go to sports the rest of the day.
But they say it's more than that.
Well, it's not.
I know.
And they want the upper echelon because they want, and I'm sure there's something along the lines where as they progress in their career, if they do something, they have to give back to the school. It is all about money. I mean, schools don't, NAIA schools or NCAA Division III schools start a football program so that they can have 60 kids on the school, right? 20 of them they give scholarships to. The other 40, they're like, hey, these people weren't coming to our school before. Now they are, and they're paying tuition and eating and doing different things like that. So it is about the money. I mean, and I think that the parents, I think that the kids, they're like, hey, we want our part in this too, since this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. Why can't we get a little taste of it? And even I don't care. I mean, Olivia Dunn's in the gymnastics. It's not like everybody watches gymnastics every week like they watch football. But I can guarantee you what she has done for the gymnastics sport is, from what I understand, sells out. it's about bringing in the money. I think it's not about. I think it's. Does it hurt the sport? Yeah. I mean,
I think it takes away from the integrity. How can you be a kid when you're in high school living your best life? You just won at your moment, at your life, you just won the highest thing you can possibly win. Possibly ever in your life.
Do you think NIL doesn't happen in high school?
It happens in high school.
Of course it does, right?
It happens in high school.
So, but what you're talking about is just early enrolling.
Yeah, I mean.
He's going to Alabama this week.
He's
still in high school.
I got you right here. You ready for this? Let's say you wanted to be a doctor. Right? Mm-hmm. You get done with doing something in high school, right? You win a special award for something in that, right? And then as soon as you get done with that award, you go off to a private medical school. Would you say that that's the wrong thing to do? He's doing it to create for his future. And I think that's all the football team's doing. We see it as a sport.
I know,
but I think he's trying to educate himself to be better so that he can be better
as a pro athlete.
As a college athlete and a pro athlete, right? No differently than a medical student who wants to be a doctor continues that education. I mean, I think it's still an education. I think it's great that he's got that in his mind, that he has that drive to do it. I wish more kids had the drive like that. Most do with the athletes, because at the end of the day, they know what's at the end of it, right? They know that there's a pretty good paycheck. I mean, you hate to say that. You hope that they do it for the love of the sport, but I think that some of that is dissipating every day, every year. Right. It's all about money.
It is. And
we don't teach people how to be educated if they can run a 4.240 or whatever, right? We hope that they get.
We'll figure that out later. All right. So what you got with prime time?
Again, transfer portal and high school recruiting. So it looked like everybody was leaving. Now all of a sudden, they got a 5-star offensive tackle.
Yes. Talk to me.
They got like 4 transfer portal.
Yes. 4 and 3-star offensive linemen. So talk to me. Do you not think they're not playoff bound?
No. They are not playoff bound. Just because you got a UTEP offensive tackle doesn't mean you're going to fucking playoffs.
I mean, they were close.
I'm kind of dumbfounded with that shit.
They were close in a couple of games this year that they lost. A couple of games they got blown out.
Only one team
Oregon truly blew them out, right?
And he admitted that. There's no denying that.
But
But that's the playoff caliber team. That's what we're talking about.
I mean, everybody's seen what their weakness was this year. It was easy. The quarterback was getting killed. His favorite son was getting killed.
That was their problem.
Nah, I'm all about that. As long as you can back it up.
As long as you can
back it up.
As long as you can back it up. They got humbled is what happened.
They got humbled. But he said that was hope. This year is expectation.
Oh,
here we go.
You know, he said he's never leaving Boulder now.
Oh,
he plans on being there for life.
I heard that.
Well, good.
Honestly, that's a lie. That's a bullshit.
Here's the thing: if that's the case, if he stands by that, my respect for him will go up, because I think he can't. I hope that he doesn't. I hope that he doesn't go 2 to 3 years at a program and go 2 to 3 years at another program.
Why not?
And then either 2 to 3 years, because
if you win at those programs, would that still be a
Colorado
disgrace?
is not. Here's my thing, though. Colorado is not in the they are now.
They're not a
but they have been they have won national championships. They haven't
won.
But that means they've been on the top. So why can't he?
Really,
why?
They're not a football dominant team. They're not even a football. They're not even a sports college.
You don't win a national championship in football
in a 90. In a 90.
Okay, but
there's still not a lot of teams that have won a national championship in football.
Georgia Tech won a national championship.
Okay.
They won a lot, I think.
Yeah.
No, they won.
Even if you just say from 90s till now, there's probably 20 teams. That'd be a good stat to find out. How many teams have won a national championship? How many different schools have won a national championship over the last 30 years, right? So you're only talking about 30 years. I wouldn't even, but maybe it's 20 teams. Maybe it's less than that, right? I mean, we got Florida State, Florida, Colorado, Miami, USC, Texas, right?
Think about how many.
Alabama's won like 8 times. Yeah. So I mean,
no, they've won like 13.
Yeah.
Well, I meant in the last.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, I mean, you talk like we talk like Miami's an upper echelon program.
I mean,
but
it was
that's
at
like
one point.
it's like the Cowboys. What have the Cowboys done since the '90s? But they're still one of those programs. You know, NFL's everybody wants. Look, and I'll tell you right now, I think the Cowboys need to win a Super Bowl every once in a while. Not because of all the Cowboy fans need to come out of the dark and, oh my gosh, we finally won something. Mm-hmm. That way they can still continue to be the most hated team in the country. That's why you do it, honestly. You want the Yankees or the Red Sox to win because you hate them, right? You want the Cowboys to win because you hate them, right? And I think that's sometimes what I think, honestly, and I know it's not on the board, but sports is missing rivals. It is. That's what I love about college football. That's the one thing that makes college football great is there's rivals.
Yeah.
There's a good guy and there's a bad guy, right? But we don't have that anymore. Sports doesn't have it. You look at the NBA, everybody's all buddy. They hang out and friends, right? I remember back in the day. I can tell you right now, Lambeer, the Pistons hated the Celtics, hated the Bulls. You wouldn't go out to dinner with each other afterwards, or you wouldn't go have, pool parties and stuff. And even in the NFL, man, these guys back in the day, they were warriors. I'm not saying the guys today aren't. They're doing it in a different way. It's just, I think there's got to be that bad guy, good guy. I mean, it's, I'm a big wrestling fan, and that's what makes wrestling great. Sometimes even the good guy could be the bad guy.
Who would be the good guys in wrestling, and who would be the bad? Was Edge a bad guy or a good guy?
He was a good guy for most of his career. There were times where he was a bad guy, right? And I think that's where characters could do both sides, right? And even like right now, I mean, let's just be honest. Florida is not a bad guy to Florida State. I mean, if the run keeps going, you guys are going to beat us every year for the next 4 or 5 years, right? So it's like, yes, no, I do, man. I don't see the program going the way it goes. Plus, we play them at the end of the year, which is, I mean, with the schedule that we have next year, it's going to be tough. But I think
did y'all lose y'all quarterback, that 5-star quarterback?
Not yet.
It's still up in the air. So.
And where is he planning on going? Did you know, or do you know?
I don't.
They're talking like, well, I mean, he says he's fully committed, but they're talking like he'd go to Texas A&M or Clemson.
That's where the money should be at.
Well, I think he's waiting. I mean, A&M hired. Did they hire their coach yet?
Mike Elko.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Who?
From Duke. The one that used to be the defensive coordinator at Texas A&M.
So.
But they already had a good defense. It was their offense.
It's a good hire.
But back to the rivals, right? We hated, like, you hated Miami. I hated Miami in the 80s, right? Because they were just a bad, well, maybe you didn't hate because you weren't around for the 80s, but they were just a bad guy, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you look at, like, NASCAR back in the day, Dale Earnhardt, right? And the arguments and the fights. And I'm not saying, like, we got to fight, but I think there has to, maybe I'm wrong with Mahomes then. Maybe the emotion does need to come out.
No.
Maybe we do need to see it every once in a while.
No.
Maybe we maybe we can't just be.
I like that though, but no.
Maybe we can't just be. Yeah, it's okay. We lost, right? Maybe we do need to show emotion sometimes, because it is the passion for the game, right? And it at least shows me that you care about winning and not participating.
I love when like Florida State and Florida right before the fourth quarter come out and start jawing at each other. You telling me you don't like that?
I love it. But what he's talking about at the end, where I think where emotions are good in sports but also need to be checked in life, is because when you let everything clear through, then you can actually see stuff clearly. Because if he was to actually take a chill pill and actually watch the replay, Tony was way off sides. And it wouldn't even be an argument. He was acting such a fool, Mahomes, and I love the guy. He was acting such a fool, throwing his helmet, going after the refs.
It was a little over the top. I don't mind the emotion. I think that's the problem I have.
It was over the top.
It's not the emotion I have a problem. It was the over the top emotion, right?
I want you to be passionate. I want Ritter to fucking be mad when he throw an easy ass interception, but he don't. But the thing is, the fucking Mahomes, if you was to take a breather and realize, look at the replay. The guy was so off sides.
I think
and then he was like, you know what?
I think the problem is there is history of where the referee will give you a pass.
Bad calls, yeah.
No, they give you a pass on that.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But here's the thing, man. Just because the cop didn't pull you over this time doesn't mean he doesn't get the right to pull you over the next time, right?
Right.
But I do like I like some passion in the game. I like people to show that they care.
But when you actually take a chill pill and just like woo-saw a little bit, you see stuff clearly. And that's where I'm at with in my life now. Because I used to be a hothead, emotional person. But now I see it clearly now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just breathe a little bit. You breathe a little bit, you see it, and then you're like, you know what? They made the right call. I overreacted. But that's all it is. He overreacted. If he was to chill out and see the replay, it was clearly offsides. He didn't have to do that to tarnish his legacy in some people's eyes. In some cases, most people, that's all it takes is one shot to ruin your legacy. You know what I'm saying? But again, it was one of those games, and he can build on it, but he's looked at differently. To be honest with you.
I think here's the thing. I think how he performs next week, how he treats it next week, how he bounces back.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's easy for us to judge. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's getting paid a lot of money to play a sport, right? There's a lot of people out there who are getting paid a little bit of money to do a lot of things that are harder.
Yeah.
And you know, I think that we see how he comes out next week. He'll probably come out and perform.
I still think they're a playoff team.
Oh, they're still a Super Bowl contender. I'm not saying that they're not. I mean, the AFC hasn't really gotten anybody who's just out there blowing it away. I mean, the NFC doesn't either. I mean,
San Francisco, Eagles. So that's basically it.
The Eagles lost this week to the Cowboys pretty bad. I think the Eagles had 2 losses in a row, right?
Yeah.
So the Niners had a couple of games where they lost this year. I think it's anybody's game. I mean, you know, I think parity's great in sports. I think it's what everybody needs. I don't ever like anybody, you know, look, the Patriots' legacy was great for as long as it was, but I think you want to have somebody who wins maybe this year, maybe next year, and then we'll move on to the next person. That's why I think that's why everybody's tired of seeing Alabama in the playoffs, right? I mean, that's what it is. It's not because
I'll give it.
It's not because they don't think Alabama. I'll be honest with you, I don't think it has anything to do with them not thinking that Alabama deserves to be in there or not.
They deserve it.
Whether they do or not.
Whether
they do or not.
Example.
They just don't.
And this is not even a
hold on. Whether they do or not is not the question. They're just tired of it, right? Florida State hasn't been in the playoff in right?
They never.
Yeah, they haven't. But they
playoffs.
Yeah,
they never been in the playoffs.
The college football playoff.
Florida State.
Yeah.
2014.
So 9 years, right? TCU was last year. I mean, this year's a pretty. I mean, I guess Texas hasn't really been in a long time either. So Washington hasn't been into it, right? So we do have a couple teams.
I think Washington actually got into it one year.
So I mean,
it's not the playoffs. The playoffs.
Yes, they did too.
Y'all didn't make no playoffs.
Yes,
y'all
we
went into
did.
the bowl BCS.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, no,
y'all played Auburn.
They played.
And then we played. And then we got killed by Oregon in the playoffs.
That's no.
It was the playoffs.
I think next year helps. 12 teams. It does help. There's always going to still be that, I should have been the 13th team, or I should have been the 14th team, because I'm sure that's going to.
Yeah.
But I think at least now you have. There were 5 conferences. We'll see how it folds out later, but at least you're going to have. You couldn't have 4 teams in and 5 conference winners, right? That's hard for you to do with the Power 5.
Because that's what the people are saying. The Power 5. The Power 5 is, SEC, ACC, whatever. So it's leaving out the other 3 other teams.
Well, it's leaving out one of those schools anyway. If you only have 4 playoff spots, if you have 5 champions, 4 spots, that's 1 champion that's going to get left out, right?
And ACC is the weakest one.
And here's the great thing, and that's the problem I think I have with
it. Is the weakest one.
That's the problem I have with what used to go on with 2 teams and 4 teams. Any team can beat any team at any day, right? We've seen it where App State beats a Michigan team, where right We've seen it this past year with what South Alabama or who was it? South Texas that beat Auburn. Who was it that beat Auburn?
New Mexico State.
New Mexico State.
But New Mexico State is a.
Oh, here we fucking go. Here we go.
New Mexico State
got a good coach.
Oh my god.
That's been a leader in every coach.
There's
every team
always.
he's been. Look at his.
So
look
what
at
was
his background.
USF a powerhouse too then?
Yeah.
They had a third string quarterback in
that
that
like
was playing. That's going
what did you guys
to
do?
go professional lacrosse because he gave it up. That's the truth.
What, USF?
No, the whatever
you
third
should be
string Alabama quarterback.
You could have put a fucking wide receiver.
I want to never have to say this again, but
out.
USF stands for you suck at football.
Yeah, they do.
Right? I mean,
They do.
I hate it. I'm from the Tampa Bay area originally. I want USF to succeed.
They won't.
I've even gone to a game where
they almost did against Bama.
I've gone to a game where they were the number 2 ranked team in the nation and lost.
I mean,
I remember that.
Who was that? Who was that?
USF. I think they played Cincinnati that game and they lost. But
we was trying to figure out ourselves, but at the end of the day, it ain't nothing but the tide, baby. It ain't nothing but the tide.
Oh my
Yeah.
I just think sport. I think all sports need rivalries. You know.
Yeah, I love it.
Think about. I'll use tennis as a good example, right? Back in the day, Agassi and Sampras. You know, even golf, Tiger and Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You had. That's what made. I mean, I can tell you. Yeah, watching Tiger be great was part of what people watched. They also wanted to see Phil and Tiger go at it with each other.
Yeah.
It's like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
Yeah.
You wanted to see that competition with each other, right?
So, by that being said, that's why Florida State is out, right?
Oh my god.
No. I'm just saying. That's what the world wants to see.
God.
They don't want to see no Florida State handicap ass going against going in against a playoffs wounded.
I thought we weren't going to talk about this week.
I know, but I'm just saying.
Okay,
but you brought it up. But you brought it up. But you brought it up.
I didn't bring it up.
But nobody wants to see no limp ass shit.
Okay, so then why do we want to watch
Be honest
Michigan?
with you.
Why do we want to watch Michigan?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to watch Washington. I think they're, you know.
Why Michigan, though?
You know who's in the playoffs? Everybody that people want to see.
Yeah,
so
Michigan, Washington.
Michigan.
I can tell you right now.
Team.
I can tell you, nobody on the East Coast has been like, "Hey, I need to watch Washington." That's the problem with the West Coast teams.
Why does Michigan get in though? What did they do?
No, see, this is my thing. To be honest with you,
By
if
the
it
way,
was to be
after Connor Stallions thing happened, you notice that they all of a sudden they can't do anything on offense.
I know, I agree, but this is
so. Why did they? First of all, why the fuck did they get in?
I know,
yeah, how
but
did
this
you
is
get in?
okay.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
this is
that's what
but
I'm
this
saying.
is
It's just,
but this is my thing. My thing. Don't be mad at Alabama fans in the SEC. Be mad at the whoever to be that let Michigan in. They got caught cheating and they let them in.
Michigan's athletic director that's on the committee.
That's not my fault. We lost our very first game trying to experience.
Second game, but it's okay.
Second game. Was it the
At
second
home.
game?
At home.
Got your ass whooped.
Don't matter. It's a powerhouse team. Anyway,
I will tell you this though: the committee had no question. I was listening to somebody the other day. They said that the committee had no questions about putting Texas in.
Yeah.
Texas beat Alabama. They should be in.
Yeah.
So,
but my problem with it is, are we doing the eye test or what are we doing? Because how could you leave Georgia out?
Money test.
Georgia would be favored against Texas.
We beat
Washington
Georgia.
and Michigan.
We beat Georgia.
Yeah, because you're not. They're doing it. Here's the thing. They're doing like a gumbo of stuff.
That's what I can't stand.
They're doing the eye test. They're doing were you the conference champion?
But my thing is, really. So I love sports. God knows I do. If I can make this a living, I would. So last night they had the bowl mania.
You picked the bad teams, dude.
I know. I picked from my heart, not. But anyway, bowl mania. You know who was Bowl Mania, what happens on ESPN, they pick the highest number of how confident you are. So
you can pick their confidence. Okay.
Yeah, 50 points saying I'm confident of this team is beating this team throughout the Bowl Mania, and then all the way down from 50 all the way to 1. Guess who was the top two? The top two of saying how confident they are to beat their team, where they ranked them.
Okay, Alabama, Michigan.
No. It was Georgia.
Over Florida State.
Yes.
Okay.
So the whole, I mean,
But
it wasn't even in the middle. It wasn't even in the middle.
And-
I'm
and
talking
yet,
about
that's why-
50 was the
and that's
highest.
why we
50
put the-
was where it was at.
And yet, here's
No,
the thing.
but it's the truth. Y'all all know it. Even you know it. Georgia is gonna mollywop y'all
I
ass.
don't know that.
You know it. Though.
I don't.
You know it.
I don't.
And
If
y'all all
our
know
players
it.
actually play.
Because I'm going to be honest with you.
Don't even say that shit.
Here's-
Y'all getting
I'm
paid
gonna-
regardless. Y'all
here-
getting paid regardless.
Here's the
I'm
problem
so
with
sick of that
Georgia.
shit.
Y'all, everybody keeps hyping Georgia, and this is the problem.
No, they're gonna
Hold on, let me
do
finish.
that shit.
The hype on Georgia is because they have the cake schedule. You can't have a. I mean, you can.
The cake
Their schedule
The
this
cake
year.
schedule.
Their
So-
schedule this year was too easy.
So
When
Florida.
they got put up against
So Florida rival teams don't matter.
Florida, play
You
Florida
just
State.
said it.
apparently
You
it
just said
doesn't.
it. No, stop.
So hold on.
See how this double logic
Time out.
works?
No.
Let
You
me
just said
finish.
it.
Let me
You
finish.
just said
I'm
it.
telling you, Georgia's schedule this year was one of the easiest schedules
Okay.
in the country.
Okay.
They
but
got to
rival,
play. They played an Alabama team who may or may not be good.
They're good.
Okay, may or may not.
They're good.
But once again we're playing the only true test that they've had. They've had two tests. Texas, they got beat at home, and Georgia that they beat. Now we're not sure how good Georgia truly is.
They have
Florida
home
State,
field advantage.
we're not truly sure how they are either, right?
Florida State.
At the end of the day, we're not really sure how teams are from other conferences
I can
because
tell
we
you
don't
how-
really know. We only know how.
I
like,
can
if
I
the-
can tell you right now who's gonna be in this championship game.
Okay.
Right now.
Who?
Texas and Alabama.
Okay.
I already told you that. People love drama. People love
I
secrets.
think that's a good
It's
thing.
happening.
I think Washington has just as good a shot.
They're not.
I
I mean, if we was to have a Cinderella story, I would have put FSU, Florida State, but that's not happening. It's reality. It's Texas and Alabama championship rematch, and Alabama's going to win it all. I swear to God, bro. If y'all was to bet on me right now. I promise you right now, Alabama's going to win
but
it
that's
all
an
this
easy
year.
pick.
And this,
So
no,
you
it's not
remember-
an easy
It
pick.
is.
So you
It's
remember
How?
what
Michigan?
But you remember what I said a minute ago
Michigan's
about.
terrible. We would beat Michigan.
Remember what I said about the Cowboys?
I didn't even
Hold
finish
on.
my statement.
Remember what I said about how the NFL needs the Cowboys to win,
Yeah,
right? It's so everybody can hate them.
yeah.
This is why, if you do those little colorful maps and you go, who's rooting for Alabama, and it's only the people in Alabama, right? Everybody else is rooting for Michigan or another
Nobody's
school,
rooting
right?
for Michigan. Nobody.
I'm not rooting for Alabama. I don't want them to.
So
I
you
want,
would go for a cheater than a person that got out.
I would
the
rather
way.
have a new school win.
It ain't
I'd
gonna be
rather
no,
have a new
it ain't
school.
no new school in there.
Sure, Washington and Texas. I
They
mean,
was in it. They was in the playoffs before,
I want to.
and they played.
Alabama
us
has
before.
won a national championship in the last 5 or 6
and
years,
we
right?
deserve it. We deserve it.
Okay, but what did Auburn do? Since you deserve both of them, right?
But
Okay,
this is,
calm down.
no. But this is what I'm trying to piggyback
No,
off
but
of.
what I'm trying to say is, you can't. Alabama is the most hated team in the country. Why?
We win.
No,
We win.
You didn't. You lost the game to Texas.
The very first game.
Technically,
I think
if
that
we
was
go
the first
against
game.
it,
I think that was the
technically,
first game.
no, it was the second.
You sure?
Yeah,
Who did you play
technically-
the first game?
Technically, you played a
Probably
no,
cupcake.
you played a cupcake.
Like
Technically,
you always do.
FSU didn't lose. You lost.
They played that. You know what I just said y'all was compared to? Conference USA, UAB, my wife's school.
Oh
That
my
type of
God.
shit. You know it. That's why they got left out. But
Then why did we? Why did?
That's why y'all
was
went
SEC
undefeated.
have a
this
losing
is
record
all I
versus
want to
all
say.
Power
This is
Five
all
this
I
year?
want to say.
Say
This
it.
is
Then
all
say it.
I want to say. This is all I want to say is when they found out Michigan found out who they had to play. No, I ain't no woosah. Then when they found out who we had to play, what did they say? Oh, when they found out Alabama took the spot of Florida State, Michigan had that response, and it went viral. That lets you know we should.
Yeah, because they were like, man,
That
we
lets
gotta
you
play
know-
Alabama.
What that mean?
That
What
means
does
that we're
mean?
tired of seeing Alabama.
Meaning what?
No, they were just people are tired of seeing Alabama.
Okay, meaning what?
They're annoying, and they always get in because they cheat.
Because here's the
They
thing:
don't cheat.
in 5 years when
They
Alabama,
the one that
here's
got
the thing:
cheating.
in 5 years when Alabama sucks, the Alabama fans will disappear
No, they won't. Them
like a
motherfuckers
fart in the
don't give
wind,
nothing.
bro. like a fart in the wind. They'll be gone.
No, trust me. When I
promise you.
This is from the 80s when I moved to Alabama. This is from the 80s. A goddamn elementary teacher. I wasn't even 2 weeks, a weekend in the state of Alabama. She was talking about a city, a college I didn't even know about, Auburn.
You watch the Cowboys make it to the playoffs, maybe even the Super Bowl.
They won't.
My God, there's gonna be Cowboys fans coming out of the woodworks. People will be putting their Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman jerseys on.
They won't.
That's
because they're not happening. It won't happen.
That's
what
happens with these teams.
There's certain things in life is not happening, and it's bigger than the game of sports. Dallas Cowboys will never make it past. They'll never make it to an NFC Championship.
Ever in their entire existence?
Period.
That's.
I don't think so.
It's bigger than sports.
I think they have as just good a chance this year as any.
I bet
I think they're playing pretty good. I think Michael Parsons is probably one of the best, if not the best.
Okay, but they have a lot of
players in the league.
This is the thing about Dallas. They have a lot of Hall of Famers on their teams, but they're going to be one and done for the rest of their career while Jerry Jones is the owner.
No.
Promise. No. This is their best season yet. They're 10-3, probably number 3 in the division or 3 in the whole conference, but they're going to be one and done when they get the playoffs. Very first game they're losing. They're not going to make it to the NFC.
Going back to what you said though, if I'm an FSU fan, if there's 2 teams that I think would have given us the most difficulty, it would be Georgia and Texas.
Bullshit.
It would be. I don't think Michigan.
Georgia and Texas, and you're going to skip Alabama like we're not even.
I would not have a fear of Alabama.
And that would be. Are you serious? Are you going to let him say that?
I question
Texas
your quarterback still.
Yeah. We do.
Are you serious?
If Verse was on his ass all game, oh my God.
I question your quarterback still. I mean,
let him get hit 3 times.
I mean, at the end of the day, we still go back to you had one play. Look, here's the thing. Yeah, I get it.
Are you serious?
You throw up a Hail Mary and the game you win.
Hail Mary.
Pretty much a Hail Mary.
Auburn, yeah. Auburn, I was a Hail Mary.
A push off.
It's his character that I question.
His character is great.
No, that's why. You know what he did after he threw that touchdown?
Nothing.
He did the Heisman pose.
He went around. He was screaming, "Give me that shit!
Give me that shit, motherfucker!"
You just beat a 6-6 team.
Yeah. So hold on. A rival team like that.
So this is my thing. This is what I don't understand. This is what I understand. I'm all about self-confidence. I preach that shit.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's a difference between being
That's
self-confident
not cocky.
and
This
being
guy got
fucking...
demoted.
No, that is cocky.
This guy got demoted.
That is cocky.
In the second game of the season.
There's a difference between it. You can go around and enjoy it. Here's the thing. Had he even said, how about them Tigers or something along that, or like, how about that War Eagles sucked or something? But you don't deserve the Heisman because you play. That's the problem with people. That's why people hate Alabama.
No.
Yeah, you are. You play on one. I mean, you play on one of the. And I get it. All the players there are fantastic. I'm not saying that they're not fantastic players.
This guy.
They're playing for a great coach that has put together a team, and the players are. It's because they get tired of hearing Alabama, right?
I think
you're on, and they're on a. Let's just be honest with you. They're on like a kind of down year. They played some big games. LSU, they beat LSU, so Florida State, right? There's just, I don't know that Alabama's as strong because we really don't know who they played. They played Georgia. Yeah, they beat Georgia.
The best of the best.
Yeah, but who?
2-time champion, back to back.
Georgia hasn't played.
And they haven't lost in.
That's not like the NFL. That's not like the NFL where you have. That's not like the NFL where you have the same team where you could kind of keep them together. These guys, half their team's been gone to the NFL. So yeah, they did bring in some new players, but the easy part of when they're playing an easy schedule, it's kind of Kentucky and Tennessee, right? But they were all mid-tier teams. Florida was a mid-lower, right? There wasn't a team that they played that I can remember that had more than 9 wins.
I give you that,
right? And that's hard for me. How can you say you're the best? And Florida State has that same thing. They're not.
Exactly.
I'm not saying you, but that's where like Georgia doesn't. At least Michigan beat Ohio State, right? You can give them that. And that's why I give Alabama a little bit of credit. They did beat Georgia, but how truly good is Georgia?
Two-time champion.
Would Georgia beat Ohio State?
Two-time champion.
I don't know that.
They're
I don't know that
two-time
Georgia would beat
champion.
Ohio State.
Yeah, they would.
But we don't talk about that.
Hold on.
Hold on. Just because you were a champion last year doesn't mean you're going to be a champion this year. Just because you won the last two doesn't mean you're going to win the three.
Okay.
Right? And I think that their schedule made... I mean, even next year, yeah, their schedule's a little tougher. It is a little tougher, but that's what they need. I mean, if you want to be the best, you got to play the best. Who was their non-conference game this year?
For Alabama, it was nobody worth nothing. Texas, and we lost.
No, not Alabama. Who was Georgia's non-conference?
Nobody.
UT Martin.
Nobody relevant. Nobody.
Yeah, I mean, it's
4 cupcakes to start the year.
This is what you brought up to me, and the reason why I wanted to tell you, and I remember now. You sent me. He act like Dion did such a disservice to these kids when he first got there. But that's the guy I was talking about. You sent me when the kid was like how Dion got there and shipped everybody out. Check this shit out. So everybody is magnifying what Dion did to when he got to Colorado. He let everybody go, but so many players. But they was 1-12. Check this shit out. Ohio State quarterback is in a transfer portal, and he lost one game, and guess what the coach told him? You got to go.
I don't think he told him that.
You want to bet?
I don't think he told him that.
You want to bet? Why when they lost that Michigan game and they was out the playoffs, 12-1, that quarterback went.
We don't know.
He hit the transfer portal.
Why he wanted to portal.
Y'all can say what y'all want to say on air or whatever, but why did he hit the transfer portal?
He did not tell him that.
Why did he hit the transfer portal? Y'all, but my thing is, you said the same shit about Dion.
The way he was being coached.
What do you mean?
Ryan Day
he went
can't
12-1. He lost one game at the last year.
Okay. Ryan Day can't
What do
beat
you
Michigan.
mean? What do you mean?
He can't beat Michigan.
Please,
So hold on,
talk to me.
I'll talk to you right now. So why leave?
They told him to leave.
No, they didn't tell him to leave.
Yes, they did. Because
You know what I would have done?
Why?
You know why I would have done?
They told him?
I'd have said, you know what? I don't give a shit what we're doing. Next year we're beating Michigan. And I would have worked my ass off. We're going to beat Michigan.
You know why? Because this is what it is. He's not, and this is what it is. He's not flashy. He's not moneymaker. The guy that they got to replace him is from Atlanta, a high school kid who's making $500,000. Aaron Norland from Langston Hughes High School is #1 pick.
Okay, so what happens when they lose to Michigan next year?
They don't give a fuck because it's the money.
Oh, because they're not paying this guy.
The fans.
They're not paying the starter. They're paying the backup. So they got to put
He
the
ain't no
backup.
backup. He's a starter, a 5-star.
Did he start today? Did he start this year?
He's in high school.
Oh, okay.
He's in high school. But what I'm saying is, they told him to leave.
He did.
What they told him did.
Hopefully he
Why
goes.
is he going to a different school?
In all
This
honesty,
one was to Michigan every year.
That's his first year starting.
Ryan Day can't beat them.
That's all you saying is Ryan Day cannot beat.
Yeah, he
Oh,
can't.
Michigan, Ohio State has been in the playoffs more than Michigan.
Yeah, but ever since Ryan Day took over, they can't win.
Ryan Day has been the coach for probably 5 years.
No, 3.
I think it's
no, it's been 3.
He's
three
been
even.
0-3.
Well, he went to the playoffs twice then. Not the playoffs.
No, they only went once.
Yeah. Well, I'll take a L on that.
Yeah.
I'll take a L on that.
Mm-hmm.
So they ain't been a playoff contender. They ain't been a playoff contender.
And they're probably not going to be.
I mean, they're contenders. I mean, here's the thing, right? In all honesty, if this was next year, they'd be in the 12 team.
Yeah, for sure.
They would be in. I think. Look, that's the problem with Michigan, Ohio State, and when Florida was half decent, Florida State, right? We play the last game of the season against somebody who's ranked.
It decides the whole season.
Right? You're like, and then I'm put out because I lost one game, and maybe let's just say we were playing them on the road, right? We lost, one game on the road to our rival, who was the number 1 or number 2 team in the country, right? That doesn't mean, wait a minute, we're not the number 2 team still. I mean, and I've seen it where it sometimes does play in that, but I think what happens is they go, oh, well, we got to put this person ahead of this person because they haven't lost.
So, my question to you, do you think Georgia has a bigger they can complain about more than Florida State?
No.
Since they was number one.
They lost.
They were number one.
They lost.
Number one
they lost. They didn't lose to the number 2 team. They lost to the number 8 team.
And maybe eventually number 1 all year.
It doesn't matter.
We were number 4 all year.
It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. This is why they were number 4. Ready for this? I'll tell you why. Because there were 3 teams ahead of them that were undefeated. Right? When there were only 2 teams ahead of you, that's the argument. That's the kind of argument, right? When there were 4 teams that were undefeated, you were number 4. If one of those loses, you should move to number 3. If another one loses, you should move to number 2.
Yeah.
The problem was you didn't lose, and they gave you the big that one. So I mean, it's tough. But that's the argument that I can see. I do think that there is some questionability of how well they would have played. I do think it's obviously 2 different teams with and without
they showed it,
the quarterback.
the stats.
But they still won, right? They still.
Our defense was good enough to still win it.
I think here's the thing.
Y'all talking about?
I think out of the respect of the game, you don't let you know. And I said it last week, and I'll say it again. You can't not put a team that's undefeated, who plays in a big time conference. Whether you like it or not, the ACC is a big time conference.
It's a Power 5, but it's not a Power 5 this year.
What does that mean?
Not this year. Because Clemson is not Clemson. Miami is not Miami.
Well, they've never been Miami.
They have.
Since they were in
but
the
here's the
ACC.
thing, right?
I mean, that's what's fucked up.
So then why does the Pac-12 in?
Pac-12 is...
Why are they in? They don't have...
But
Pac-12,
but Pac-12 delivered this year. All their teams is... You got USC. All their teams... The Pac-12 was
But they play each other.
Okay,
But
USC
the Pac-12 was the hypest
Clemson.
team, the hypest conference this year. You had USC, Caleb Williams. You had Oregon.
What they finish? What
I know, but it was... But you got...
Hype doesn't win games. Ask Deion that.
Money.
Hype
Money.
does not win
It's
games.
money.
Ask Mr. Deion Sanders that.
Okay, but...
That doesn't win games.
But ask me
on
this.
the field
But ask me this.
Not getting beat by a team.
But ask me this.
And trust me, I'm no Florida State fan.
I know, but ask me this. Is Colorado happy with Deion's first year? Yes. He brought in millions.
Yeah, but I think here's the thing.
They're very happy.
They're happy
They're
with 1
very
year.
happy. They sold out every game.
But they're happy with 1 year, James.
Colorado
is not in it for the short term.
No, but they're happy with the
Look at what happened. No, here's why. Let me tell you why.
Yes,
Florida State's a perfect example of why. Look at what Jimbo did to their school when he left. Right? And Jimbo won him an Natty.
Yeah, he did.
Right?
I don't know why y'all
And then when he left, he left the program. He left the program in ruins. That's what's going to happen.
Wait, did he leave it or did the boosters?
No, he left it.
He left.
Oh, you don't remember that? He left in the middle of the night.
He didn't even tell the team. The team found out from ESPN that he wasn't the coach. Yeah. So fuck.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the problem. And Hype doesn't win.
He quit halfway through the season, by the way.
Pays bills.
But it pays short term. Hype is like a drug.
It don't matter.
It pays for it gets you high for a short time. It's not going to let you last.
It don't matter.
Yes,
it
does.
now.
Well, that's the problem. Now doesn't.
But
I'd rather. Here's the thing. I'll give Nick Saban the credit he deserves. Right? He has had an established career. He didn't go in Alabama. First off, he went to LSU, won. Maybe he didn't do good in the NFL, right? So he goes back to college where he knows he can do it, right? Mm-hmm. And he goes on to win 5 or 6 more, right? That is the legacy. That's who you want to be. You don't want to come in, win one, and disappear forever. Ask Les Miles what he's doing right now. Right?
Not even he don't get no credibility.
You don't want to be that person, and that's what I'm trying to get to your point with Deion. If Deion wants to be credible, because he's not even credible yet. He's not credible. Hasn't won a thing. Hasn't won a conference title. Hasn't won a championship.
Not in this.
He didn't win a conference title in the other one.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't. They got beat.
He won the SEC.
No, They got beat in the finals.
He won not the SEC. He won the SWAC or whatever you call it.
No,
MEAC
he didn't.
Yes, he
No,
did.
he didn't. They were second.
He lost.
They were in second.
See, that's why we need Mike. He's supposed to be the stat checker, but
I mean, maybe we're wrong, but we could just, yeah.
He lost the humanitarian bowl. He lost a bowl game.
No, he lost.
He didn't.
No, sir.
He won
I
the
ain't waiting to pull up my
championship.
phone. I know we're not supposed to, but you know.
But we got you. I got you. But he won the bowl game after the championship game. He won the SWAC or MEAC championship.
Where was he at? Grambling?
No, Jackson State.
Yeah, right, Jackson
It's a
State.
SWAC championship or the MEAC.
He lost. I think he lost this.
He only lost the bowl games, and at the end.
No, he lost to JSO in the bowl game.
Yeah, it was the South Carolina State. I keep up with this shit. I do.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
He lost to South Carolina State.
The Sanders Tigers were upset 41-34 in overtime by NC Central in the Celebration Bowl, the HBCU National Championship.
That's their, but not the.
He didn't win it.
Not the SWAC. So this is the difference. I went to HBCU. SWAC is like the East Black colleges, and MEAC is like Bethune and FAMU. Yeah, those black colleges. And then the national championship is when SWAC and MEAC plays each other. But he won the SWAC or MEAC or whatever.
I was wrong then, but he didn't win it all.
He didn't win it all. That don't even matter, but.
Sure, it matters. How do you go? Here's the thing, right? You go from being undefeated in a season and losing.
But those games,
to being 3-12 or 3-9.
No, so this is why it don't matter. So Florida State went undefeated, but he and the Florida State fans are not going to count this last game because he's going to say his players didn't play.
What did they win? Did they still count it?
They counted. But are you not going to count this game? Or are you not? Are you gonna say y'all won?
But I'm just saying
it don't count.
If our players don't play, then we're gonna lose.
But y'all not gonna really count it in y'all head.
Yeah, if we win, here's the thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing. They do get the benefit of having a double-edged sword where they could go,
hey,
look, we won. We should still be the national champions. And then they can also be like,
oh,
hey, we lost.
But we didn't play. We didn't play.
But here's the thing. I would hope. Whether they knew it's sort of like Mahomes getting screwed on a call or whether or not, look, I get it, it's a little bit different with LSU. I think they're going to play, and they're going to play as hard as they can. And I think they're going to play to prove something. Now, if they do all of those things and they still lose, hey, they lost. But if they do all those things and they win, boy, let me tell you, that's
going to be the first one.
That's going to be a tough
Georgia.
But you know, and I know, Florida State will not score a touchdown against Georgia.
I don't know.
And that's not no disrespect. That's reality.
I don't know that.
I don't want to.
Oh, okay.
Y'all not. I would do it.
I don't know that.
God knows I would, but I don't want to do it because y'all not gonna score a touchdown.
All right, well, let's bet $100 on it.
I would love to do that, but you got to take that bet because that's easy.
I'm not taking that.
That's the Robin.
I don't think
you're the one talking.
I'm not the one trying to back it up.
I promise you. Florida State
I think any team can beat any team, man.
Against Georgia.
So you bet $100?
I don't want to do it. I'm way older than you. I promise you they not going to do it. I promise you they won't.
So here,
and this is not even fair. He's sick. It was like I'm picking on a sickly. Bruh.
Pretty good game going here. Going into halftime, this is actually surprising me
that they keep up is
I would have guessed the Dolphins.
Bad is he? How bad is
I don't know. I haven't checked on Tyreek, but pretty good game going here. Watching a little Monday Night Football while we're doing the watch.
Yeah. All right. So what's up with Marvin Harrison? So do you think he should stay?
See, that's where we get out. That's where I think NIL gets out of hand, man.
Talk to me.
$12 million, man. I'll be honest with you. Here's what I would tell you to do, right? Let's just say obviously you can't go back, but let's say who was the quarterback for Florida State that was really old?
Chris Winkie.
Chris Winkie, right? Why not pull that off? Why not go do something for a couple of years, come back, be like in your early to mid 20s, right? Go to college, Make
go-
$10
He was
million.
a genius.
Make $10 million.
He went back to FSU and had a mansion. Like, he lived in the rich part of Tallahassee and, like, threw parties at, like, this. He lived in Clarn, which was, like, this swanky neighborhood. It'd be like Brookstone or, like, whatever the big neighborhood is here.
Yeah.
Governors, whatever.
Wow.
I mean, go like that's what I'm
He
saying.
went
Why,
back, like,
So-
why would you? Why
saying
would you
that-
sit out a couple years? Maybe go play NFL Europe or in a European league or something, or even
They
Canada,
made more
right?
money in college.
Yeah, but here's the thing, and then go back. Like, let's just say you're a mediocre player, right?
Yeah.
Right.
They're not getting paid.
Go to Canada, play like a semi-pro, right? Where you can get some of that experience going and things like that. Bulk up a little bit. Then you go in go as a freshman at 21. You're done. I mean, right?
No, you can't do no shit like
fucking
that.
genius.
Right? I mean, then all of a sudden.
Then fuck it. Sign me up. I'm going back to high school. I got some
I mean,
classes.
that's what we're
I'm
going.
going back to high
Nah,
school. There's some
only
classes
certain
I
types
need
of
to
people can do
retain.
that.
There's no regulation on it. The problem is, it's just it's a free for all. $12 million, 7, 12, 15. Let's just throw money at these kids, and I get it.
Yeah, they say
I'm not saying they're not. I think the problem is. I think the problem is
I think this is. Go ahead.
they are. It's not about them. Here's my problem with it. They're not doing it for NIL. They're not doing it for name image.
They're doing it for their own.
They're doing it so that the school, so I can get this player. They're not
going to save my job for 5 more years.
It's not It's not like this kid's coming to the school and we're saying, hey, we're going to give you this money after the fact. They're using the money
to reel them in.
Yeah, and that's not to me. Name image likeness was really about back in the day. NCAA football, like the college football EA Sports game, where you could play as your teams. But when you play,
I can use my favorite player but not pay them.
Correct, and I think that's right now I see like people on Subway commercials and I'm like they're in college and that means somebody somewhere paid them for that, right? And I don't care. I remember the one kid who went to Jackson State with Dion, who was a running back. I think he flipped from FSU, as a matter of fact.
No, the cornerback.
Oh, Travis Hunter. Yeah, right. Barstool Sports paid them $1 million, paid him $1 million, right? But it was to help Dion, right? I mean, it's to get him to go to those places. It's not about name, image, likeness. Is what it should be about, and it's about, hey, I'm gonna recruit you, and here, it's the old way of doing it, right? I mean, we all heard the story about Tennessee putting money in a McDonald's bag. This is just, hey, we're just going to do it openly now, right? And I guess that's okay, but it does bring some water down to the sport. I know you guys think it does bring in some more teams and things like that, but why not? I mean,
so
if I could go, here's the thing. If I knew I was a mid, like if I was going to go, let's just say, right? I was going to go to a mid school, like, let's just say UAB. I'm not going to say they're a mid school, but let's say I was getting drafted, or I could, getting recruited to go to UAB. But if I stayed out and I went and worked with some people for 2 or 3 years, I'd come in as a freshman. 2 or 3 years later, I'd be 21. I'd be just as big as the seniors playing against, but I'm a freshman. They get me for 2 or 3 more years. I'm telling you, I'm probably dominating.
You will, but this is.
And guess what? Then I'll take the $10 million.
Okay, but this is.
Then maybe I have a mediocre NFL career, but I've made my money then.
Okay, but this is the thing.
That's what you're going to start seeing happen. I'm telling you.
But this is what coaches already complained about. I'm glad you said that. But this is the thing. As good as Bo Nix has been this year, he's not getting his flowers right now because he's goddamn 6 years in. He's 6 years in his college career. He's supposed to dominate. He's a super senior. He's supposed to dominate. He's 20. He's married with kids.
Not even 19-year-olds that are married with kids.
I mean, but he's literally living the American dream. He's married with kids. Got a white picket fence.
And he got probably $4 or $5 million to go to.
But he's
Oregon,
still.
right?
But I'm saying, he's not.
And it's not.
If you that old, you should be in the league.
And I still haven't. And no offense, we still haven't played NCAA football. I heard they were supposed to be coming out with that. It's kind of upsetting.
Next year.
Oh, dude. You know how much money I'd pay for that game?
I'm I'm still updating the
astronomical
rosters.
amount. I'll pay $500.
Oh yeah.
I think it's one of those games where you miss it so much, you hope that they don't bring it back and ruin it.
Yeah,
they
just
will.
make it like Madden 2.0.
No.
Yeah, they're gonna ruin it.
No, they're not. I think they're gonna do well.
No, I think they're gonna do it right.
They're gonna put the transfer portal in it.
It is. It's gonna be in there.
That's ridiculous. I mean that's ridiculous.
Why? It's part of the league now.
I mean,
no differently.
So
no differently than when you do my player on a Madden, and hey, you've been drafted to this team, and then 2 years into it, this team is interested in signing you for da da da.
Okay, but so when you play a season, do you play multiple seasons or do you just play one season and then?
What do you mean, like when we do in my career?
Yeah.
Yeah, we play the career, man. I play as long as I can.
No, I don't do that shit. Huh? You play a whole career. You finish out the whole 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember back in the day when you had I think you could start your if you had both EA, NCAA, and Madden, who I think went to or EA, Madden, right? You could start your player in college, play them, and then you could move them into the Madden game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. Yeah. I mean, college football. Oh, there it is, right there. Boom, the play.
Yeah, way outside.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I mean, I think I wish NIL was a little bit more controlled. I mean, now they're just talking about this where they can just say, "Hey, the schools are going to do it now." They're just going to. They went from it's got to be somebody from an outside that's paying you to now. They're just like, yeah, the schools can pay you. Yeah,
it's both. It's either or.
I mean,
It's either or.
Going to that topic though, best Christmas gift as a kid.
What's that?
I think that EA Sports NCAA might have been, because that's what I got for Christmas every year.
Yeah.
I got the new one that came out.
Top
that PS3 was like a big one for me,
mm-hmm.
and then getting a basketball hoop.
You a basketball guy?
No, but I played in the cul-de-sac.
Okay.
We all threw up bricks, right? I mean, I remember. I think probably one of the best ones for me was a Game Boy. If you
mm-hmm.
back in the day, that's how it puts my age up there. Not only a Game Boy, but
why the Game Boy though?
First handheld, like
that's what it was.
It was first handheld, man. I mean, you it was, and then honestly, I know this can sound really bad. A waterbed. I wanted a waterbed so bad. For so long, and I got one, and now I couldn't stand if I had one. I don't know why I wanted one back then.
Yeah, it was a trend. It was a trend.
But the last thing was once my dad and my stepdad both took me, which I could tell you that combination hardly ever happened, but they both took me, a bunch of my friends, to a wrestling match for Christmas one year, and I thought that was really one having them together, but then also taking a bunch of my friends, and we got to go see a wrestling match at the Lakeland Center in Lakeland, Florida. It was really cool. Just that, those are some of my best memories of Christmas gifts.
Sweet. So who do you think was like, between your dad and your stepdad, who do you think was like the biggest wrestling fan? Between those two, or they just did it?
Neither one of them. Like, neither one could care. Yep, they did it for me. No, I mean, and they both did stuff. Like, I remember my back when pay-per-views existed, they would every once in a while rent the pay-per-view for you, and it was before internet and stuff like that. So it was good. It was, my mom, took me to wrestling. My wife actually now she really loves wrestling too. So I mean, it's one of those things where you're like, I wrestling comes and goes, but it's a great,
childhood memory.
It's just to me. I think you can just enjoy it every week. You don't have, it's like a, I know it's bad to say, it's like a male soap opera.
Yeah, that's cool.
But what they do, some of the craziest stuff I've ever seen has come in wrestling matches. Cactus Jack's one of those big guys who just did some of the stupidest stuff in the world, like getting thrown off of the top of a cage, the thumbtack matches and having those just some of the things, barbed wire matches. just I get it. Some, and then you take like Edge. You were talking about Edge earlier. Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, the TLC match. That's one of those great matches that goes on in history. But they're putting their bodies. Think about it. I don't care if it's a metal aluminum ladder. They're still hitting it with some force, and it still hurts. And Shane McMahon. I've seen him jump off of a freaking scaffold. I mean, it's just but you get to watch it. You're amazed by some of the moves that they do. Obviously, I can tell you my favorite move, Canadian Destroyer. Petey Williams came up with it. It's a freaking amazing move. It's a if you get to see it. Actually, Bad Bunny I think did it at WrestleMania a couple years ago. So I mean, and I think that's where wrestling is a big part of culture. Is it's brought in athletes from other areas. It brings in musicians. It brings in actors and actresses. Everybody wants, that has that, and that does go back to the original WrestleMania and how they brought in a bunch of people from outside of wrestling to be a part of it. And it has become, and it has its ups and downs. I mean, obviously, you had Hogan era back in the 80s, Ric Flair, you have, you had Sting in WCW, you have The Rock and Stone Cold, which is probably like it's probably the Rock and Stone Cold to me are like the Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, or the Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, of wrestling, because it just two guys going, best in the game. You still have the Undertaker from all those years that he's been around, and then today you have the guys that are on the way up. I mean, John Cena's been around; he's getting out of it too. Where Cody Rhodes and CM Punk just came back, and there's Roman Reigns. There's a lot of guys in the business. It's just you keep building on that. Whether you're a kid or an adult, I think there's plenty of people who like to watch wrestling. I think it's one of those things that's just easy to keep going with it. It has its ups and downs.
You watch UFC or no?
Yeah, I watch UFC. I'm actually, I was in Florida playing. I lived in Florida for a little while, down in South Florida, and there was a poker tournament that one of the casinos was having, and they had like stars from the area that would come in and play with us. Colby Covington played. So yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm excited for his next fight. I root for him, man. I know he. I can't tell if he knows that he's doing the bad boy persona just to be that guy, so that he can keep his name up there, or if he is really the bad boy. It's one of those things. But I like Colby. That's the crazy thing, man. UFC is an enjoyable arena to watch. What they've done. I remember back in UFC 1s and 2s, they would have I remember you would have like 3 fights in a night. Some of those, right? That's what the originals were back in the day. I mean, obviously the Gracies and all them, and then now it's become like a boxing match where it's so big. You'll set it up for 3 or 4 months, and the hype is just as much as the match itself. So I mean, and haven't been to one. I would like to go to one.
I went to one here.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. I saw Izzy fight Kelvin Gastelum, and Max Holloway fight Dustin Poirier.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a pretty big card.
Where was that at, though?
What?
State Farm?
Yeah, I think it was State Farm.
Yeah. So it was downtown?
Yeah. Dude, that shit is crazy. The fans are crazy.
My nephew goes to those MMA fights. He loves it. He's like, the speed of it in real life is unreal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I'll get fucked up real quick. Because he was like, it's just like a light of speed. How one guy's just right here, and next thing you know, he's just on the other side of you, just tagging your ass and shit like that. Damn. I'll never be a fighter.
You're a lover, not a fighter.
Yeah, definitely that. Definitely that.
Are we sure about that?
I'm definitely craning those.
What you mean?
Yeah.
I don't think Tyreek is playing. He looks like he's still.
He might be done. He was MVP career, MVP season. That's who I had. If I was to vote.
Right now, you'd have Tyreek.
Who?
You'd have Tyreek right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing I had, one of the things that we didn't put on there, if you was to compare who was a game changer, Tyreek versus Randy Moss, even though they're like two different sizes, but the speed is the same, would you say Randy Moss is more of a game changer than...
Is Randy's speed the same?
He's a 4.2, 4.3 speed, yeah. And he's 6'4". But Tyreek is the same speed, but 5'10", 5'11".
You know, you bring up a point like MVP. I think I'm tired of seeing Heisman's always be the quarterbacks and MVPs are always the quarterbacks, right? And I get it. It's a pass. College and NFL, they're both kind of pass happy leagues, and it's only because to me, there's players out there, and I know there's other awards for other things and stuff like that, but to me, it's just, you throw it enough, you're going to get that many yards. Don't get me wrong, with Jaden Daniels, LSU, it was...
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was.
But if you throw it 100 times, you're gonna hit.
It was, and I don't think it was just him throwing it, and what a catch. What a catch.
So I watched last night a series on ESPN. It was called The Race for the Heisman in 1997. And it was with Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson.
Biggest robbery ever.
The Leaf, Ron Leaf. And all the other. It was Hall of Famers that was on this show. But yet Charles Woodson won it all against Peyton Manning, who was everybody's hero in college.
It wasn't everybody's, but
not Florida's, but y'all beat them.
He never beat us.
All right.
It's the only team he played he never beat.
And you got to watch that documentary. It was really good.
But I will tell you, he is my favorite NFL player ever.
The way he carried himself.
You listen to some of his history. When he was back as a kid, he would listen to games on the radio, and then the next day he would be calling the game to himself about what plays run and how what he would do differently, and that you saw that as you progressed throughout his life. Mm-hmm. When he was in the NFL, man, and I get it. Everybody's gonna put Brady as the best and Marino, and to me,
he's up there.
Peyton, if it wasn't for Brady, I don't know that Peyton wouldn't be the best quarterback ever.
He would. That's some real shit because. Without Brady, Peyton would be number one.
And then let me tell you, for that big ass head and his goofy little body, he's a good comedian too. He got some good good jokes.
Him and his brother.
I just I remember the skit where he was like not the Make-A-Wish or whatever, where the kids were playing on the football field and he was throwing the ball at them. Yeah. He was telling the kid timeout. And I think the part of that that was so funny is because I don't think that's what we think Peyton Manning is. We never see him doing those kind of things.
Like when I was looking at that documentary last night, he was so serious and stuff like that. He's so far different from what he is now.
And Woodson don't get me wrong, Woodson was a great player. I don't know.
He deserved it.
But I think Peyton deserved it.
He didn't.
Why did he not deserve it?
I didn't.
He lost one game that year.
That was the only game he lost.
The only game he lost
was Florida.
He
struggled against Kentucky.
The only game he lost all year that year was Florida.
He struggled against Kentucky. He struggled against a lot of teams. All the teams that
Here's the question.
He struggled against Auburn.
If you took Peyton off of Tennessee Volunteers that year, what's their record? Now, what they're going to tell you is a couple years later, Tennessee wins the national championship.
They did with T. Martin.
Yeah. So it's hard to say that, but I think
at the end of the day,
I think you take Peyton off the team, it would impact more than if you took Woodson off the team. And that's what you have to decide for yourself. Now, I think Woodson was great. He had a phenomenal career in both college and the NFL.
But check this out. Literally, check this out. You would think because he played both ways, he would put some crazy number of stats up. He didn't. He had 4 interceptions. That was it. And total yards offense, guess how much it was? 590 yards. Total yards offense. That's from punt returns, kick returns, receiving the ball. Whatever he did.
But just like I just said, hey, I wouldn't want it to always be quarterbacks. There's things that you don't see. Like as a defensive player, there are things that you don't see.
He dominated the game.
Right. You know, I mean, you won't throw that way.
Right.
Right. You know, you'll arrange plays to go away from that person. Right.
But his stats wasn't even great. That's what I'm saying. I thought, because I can't even make the Heisman playing this college game now that I play, and he only had 590 yards offense.
Well, that's this Saturday. What's up? It's funny we just mentioned that.
Edwards versus Covington. Covington, baby.
Yeah.
He's going to get his ass whooped.
Did you see Tony Ferguson's fighting Patty Pimblett?
Yeah.
Tony Ferguson's training with what's that guy? David Goggins, the motivational dude.
Really?
Here's what's crazy. I don't know if you know about Edwards, right? Irish guy, right?
UK.
I think he's Irish, and his wife is like 20 years older than him.
Damn.
Oh, you're talking about Ian Gary.
Oh, Ian Gary, yeah. Which is crazy to me. His wife's like 20 years older than him, and her ex-husband lives with him. Something a little weird there.
That won't happen in this household. I can tell you that. So it's like a threesome every day, basically.
I don't think that's what's happening. I think there's
just that gullible to let him.
I think she writes books on like
how to be a wag.
I don't know what wag means, but
wives and girlfriends of sports athletes.
How to like date people younger than you and shit, like athletes that are younger than you.
Yeah.
Damn.
So,
that's embarrassing.
It is. But it's out there. It's real.
Yeah, I think Sean he was the one who was talking about it the other day. That's what popped up on my TikTok. I was like, what? He was going off about it.
Sean Strickland,
yep.
Another OG.
What's up with him?
I love that guy. He just doesn't cave into cancel culture, woke BS.
Yeah, I mean, he gets. I mean, that's the thing about UFC. You gotta love. The leader doesn't care.
Mm-hmm. He heard Peloton did that bullshit, and he said, "Fuck Peloton, throw them out."
Yeah.
They got rid of all their Pelotons from their gym and just threw them away.
Not to get off of stuff. Do you know that Smile Direct Club is done? You know who Smile Direct Club is? Mm-hmm. So Smile Direct Club is the one where they would send you a thing, and they would help straighten out your teeth like they were like braces, and they would send you different programs.
Yeah. So the clear
right.
Thing?
They don't exist anymore.
Why?
So I know So just recently, an email got sent to one of their employees with all the salaries of all the people in the company.
Damn.
That person found out they weren't making that much money comparatively to others. So they quit and forwarded it to everybody in the company.
And it's like, oh my God.
And the next day, 200 people quit.
I can see that shit happening.
Now, right?
Holy shit.
Yeah, I can see that.
So it gets even better. So some IT guys were part of the group that quit. Well, the company was like, we'll just hire your replacements, right? And
being cocky about
right? So the IT guys go, hey, we're going to make these fake resumes and we're going to post them into your jobs, right? And so they did. So they kept calling people who didn't exist.
Wow. And they
couldn't get anybody to get hired.
So they had to pay all.
But they were also valued at like $8.4 billion or something like, or $4.8 billion like 4 or 5 years ago. Damn. And here they are
struggling.
They filed bankruptcy. They closed. They're not doing any more. So you can't buy any more Smile Direct. They're not even shipping you anymore. But here's the kicker. This is the last thing. They want you to still pay them.
Yeah.
If you subscribe to them before, they want you to continue to pay them.
That's crazy.
Right?
Wow.
It's crazy how these companies just come and go. I remember seeing their commercials all the time. I was like, man, there's no way this company's. Yeah. It's a great idea. It's.
Imagine they just go bankrupt when your teeth are half fixed.
Yeah.
And you're like, God damn it.
I think
we got this far and can't fucking finish. You just sit there with like a half fucking crooked mouth.
You got like summer teeth.
Yeah.
Damn. Some are straight, some are not.
Some are here, some are there, some are everywhere, right?
Damn.
Which sucks, man, because that's right. you're in the middle of doing something and you're trying to make yourself better, and because some jackhole does something stupid, they end up putting you in a position where your teeth aren't fixed. They put 500 people out of jobs. I mean, it's just
that's crazy.
And it was probably one of those things where people weren't getting paid properly. I mean, who knows? I mean, that's why look, I think athletes get paid way too much.
No, they don't.
Movie stars get paid way too much.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I mean, my neighbor across. I don't even say it on there because he's in the movie industry. But
I just think sometimes they get paid too much. I mean, does Patrick Mahomes need to have $100 million? $500 million, right?
Yeah.
Otani, does he need $700?
You know why?
I'll give it to Otani though. He was smart. I think allegedly he's only making $2 million for $2 million a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's all deferred to the end of the contract. They're going to pay him.
But this is why I say, and now we're not going to say no names, but he has some people that was my favorite, I looked up to, and they're probably 5 years older than me, 3 years older than me. They walk around like they're 80 years old. And
who, athletes?
Yeah.
They choose that sport, bro.
But that's why they get paid.
They make the choice. Don't go into athletes. Be Drew Luck.
But
retire in your 20s so that you can live a life. Get that.
But
play 5 years.
That's why I say
play 5 years. Get your money and
that's
go
why
on.
I say pay them, because these people won our hearts, stole it, gave us rings, gave us our colleges, our favorite person,
so why
our
not
favorite
military
team.
or hospital?
They get fucked up too, and they don't get
army.
taken care of, and they don't get taken care of in the military. And
or better yet, like a personal experience happened to me about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I had to put my dog down after 16 years. Right?
Yeah.
We worked with a company who actually came to our house, and then they did it actually in our house. They put her to sleep in our house, right? Imagine being that person every day. That's your job.
Get numb to it, and then you don't know nobody. You don't know those people.
Yeah,
like you don't know those people.
I couldn't do it.
I mean, I'm not a cold-hearted person, but you don't know those people. It's not like it's your love.
And I'll tell you, if I can remember who they were, they were. Honestly, I would never do it any other way. If we have another dog, that's exactly how I would do it. Our dog was at peace. Didn't feel like they were going stressed going to the vet. The people who we worked with, they were amazing. They were very soft spoken, always helpful, always like, hey, what can we do? Throughout the whole process. And it was amazing. But I think you have people out there who aren't getting paid what they deserve. Obviously, we're all not getting. Look, at the end of the day, I think everybody thinks that they could get paid more money. I mean, and I wish we all could. That's just not, unfortunately, how the world works. So that doesn't mean you stop. That doesn't mean you don't work hard. That means you just you try and keep moving. I mean. I can tell you right now, my first 20 years, I wasn't, being on my own and doing things like that. It wasn't, yay, I think that's the other part, right? Kids today, at 25, they're expecting that they should be making $500,000, right?
But see, that's the thing, though. I mean,
because they see the lifestyles. They see, this is where like Instagrams and social media has gotten it to where, man, we gotta do all kinds of things.
You're
right?
a sophomore in high school, you make $500,000.
Yeah, but I don't even think that. I mean, you take a kid who doesn't do sports.
But my thing is, the reason why NIL kind of sucks. Are you really promoting education?
No, because
you're promoting what's entertaining.
No, because here's the thing: how are you getting the education when you're going from school to school to school? You're not getting. I mean,
you're not going to school, but you're getting paid more money in your degree than what you're going to school for.
I think you could see it as if you were going from, like if you're at the end of your career. Like I think, like you graduated and you had 2 years or a year left, and you were like, "Yeah, I've spent 4 years here. I already got my degree." Yeah, I think I'm okay with those guys kind of doing it. I think some people do, but if you're 2 years in and you want to switch, and then you didn't like that school, so you want to switch another one, you're not getting your education. You're just not. You know, I mean, and I'm not worried about the NIL. I just think that sometimes, for example, I didn't even like. I mean, obviously, there's an age gap here. When I was growing up, we did not travel as much as people today do. You know, we did not, like, there are people in their 18 to 24-year-olds that have probably done more in their life than I have, right? Gone to Hawaii's and Alaskas and Europe's. Yeah. And that just was non-existent for me. I didn't, I mean, I was lucky to leave Polk County, Florida, if I, you know what I mean?
Right. To go to Tallahassee.
Well, we didn't go to Tallahassee. We went to Gainesville. We did do some traveling. We went to West Virginia or Wyoming or Washington. I mean, I did some traveling, but I don't go to Tallahassee. So weird thing enough, I lived in Florida most of my life. I've never been to the Panhandle.
What the fuck?
When you live in Central Florida,
and you never went.
I don't need to go to the Panhandle. I can go to Cocoa or I can go to Clearwater. Some of the best beaches in the world.
You know what's
Cocoa
crazy?
Beach is a fantastic drinking beach, hangout beach. Clearwater Beach, probably some of the most beautiful beaches ever.
And that's crazy because I lived in Miami for like 8 or 9 years.
Did you ever go past West Palm?
I never went past. I never went to Orlando.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, you just don't, right? You're like, why?
Because everything is so
I mean, let's just be honest. What's really in the Panhandle? I mean, at least if you're going to go to Orlando, you could say Disney.
But the only reason why I want to go to Tallahassee because I've been in Florida for 8 or 9 years, and I always thought of it being flat. I saw a documentary about Tallahassee, and they said it's all hills and shit.
It is.
And I want to go to Destin. I do want to go to Destin.
You never been to Destin?
No, that's
It's beautiful. Bro. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I want to go to Destin.
Water is clear as shit. It's blue, clear as hell. So. Yeah, it's really clear. All right, so we're wrapping it up with one more topic. Because I think my boy's sick still.
Yeah, he needs to get some rest.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what's appropriate to buy for the opposite sex for Christmas presents?
Inappropriate.
So yeah, we're talking about like pink elephant, like white elephant gifts, stuff like that.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
Obviously lingerie.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I don't think you do dirty things either, dirty jokes or anything like that.
Those are the obvious things. But what about stuff that you didn't think about?
Well, what's something I didn't think about?
Cologne.
Yeah, that's a little pushing it. I get you.
You get what I'm saying?
Falls in that range.
Because it's not like it's intimate, but it's intimate.
Let me ask you this, though. What if I bought you a ring?
That's definitely intimate.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so for everybody watching who does not know, this is live. He has no idea about this.
No, I don't.
We played in a fantasy football league at work. And this motherfucker had the worst team in the entire league. He's like 1-13.
Yeah, but
I'm 13-1.
You're 13-1.
Yeah.
And you can't.
Actually, no. Hold on. I might have 3 losses, but I'm at the top.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for you because this is the thing.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
So we got him. I'm gonna show the camera this shit. We got you the last place ring.
Are you fucking serious?
It's got a fucking toilet on it and shit on the sides.
Serious?
And it's got a loser. Look at this. Look at this.
Y'all lame as fuck.
Look at this. Last place.
Wow. Y'all set me up with this. And I didn't even...
You're the one who came up with the gift thing, too. You just didn't know we had it.
So here you go. Here you go, sir.
Last place.
You officially are the worst fantasy team.
Oh, my God. Boy, this shit is nice.
3-star athlete. You're going to be wearing that shit to work.
Why, this shit is nice to be in last place.
That's your All-American ring right there.
I helped you. I gave you my...
Look what he did. He traded me.
Y'all crazy.
I traded him Kadarius Toney for James Cook.
Yeah, the number one leading drop pass person.
He's gonna wear it with pride this year.
God.
That's crazy. It's
We're
going
gonna
to
pride.
get a trophy.
You know, that'll bring us to next week where we're going to talk about what we think the worst fantasy football punishment should be for the loser, right? We're going to talk about some of those things.
Oh, I got a good one.
Yeah, so.
I got a good
Oh,
one.
y'all crazy as fuck. No, y'all crazy.
Congratulations, Jay!
Yeah.
You're the biggest loser!
I prefer to take $250, but, you know, I get this. Y'all crazy.
You can
By the way, I was
thing.
not in the fantasy league.
You
That's because the last 2 years I won the one that I was in.
dominated this shit? Wow.
And I don't even follow NFL like that, but I'm still.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying.
I just know ball.
He goes, hey, this guy was good in college. He's probably going to be good in the NFL.
Yeah. I mean, really, to be honest with you, if we was to do it all over again, if I had to put my 4 teams in the playoffs this year, I would leave Michigan out just to put y'all in. Just to put y'all in. But
Because you're a homer, dude.
Alabama deserves that shit. They deserve it. They lost.
Here's the thing.
I think it was the first game.
It sucks because there weren't 6 teams. I think if there were 6 teams, it would have been better.
Yeah.
I think there would have been no controversy except for maybe, okay, you put Ohio State in, or you put Georgia in right over Ohio State. Do you think, that might have been the only conversation? But I think the 6 teams would have been perfect. So.
Because I think it just makes it fair because if it's 5 powerhouse PW, whatever they call it, if it's 5 of them, then it needs to be 5 teams. But you can't make 5 because it's not even, so make it 6.
Yeah, make it 6.
So
have one at large. Let's just say like Liberty went undefeated. Maybe they didn't belong,
but still, you never know. But that's what. But that's what I'm saying. That's what.
That's why Georgia. You're right. I mean, they lost 1 game, the SEC championship, right, to Alabama. It was a close game and a neutral site. So I mean, that truly was. Honestly, it's truly kind of test. But even a couple of years ago, which was a real weird stat if you did not know this, Alabama and Georgia have played in the SEC championship game 4 times.
And never lost.
Alabama has beat them every time.
Yeah. I knew that.
And a few years ago, that happened, and then Georgia won the national championship. So.
Yeah, that was the whole Tua bench thing, what hurts and stuff like that.
But it's been a pleasure this week.
Yeah.
It has.
I hope you feel better, bro.
I
didn't know you was until you said it the other day. I didn't know you was sick.
It just hurts to talk.
Yeah. It sucks. It sucks, but that's what we do. We fight through it,
Yep.
So we fight through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But another podcast in the books. We're coming next week. Yeah. We'll be back and better.
Yeah.
Dude, that last question you asked, by the way, is still on my mind.
What was that?
When he was talking about
with
your fantasy football punishment. I have one, and it's a great one.
It was ridiculous. No, but
that's why we gotta leave it. We gotta wait for next week.
Gotta wait for next week.
You on next week?
We'll see. Probably.
Okay. All right. So first of all, I didn't. Because I forgot, I have another diehard Falcon fan, Joy Deep. If you're listening, he wants to be on next week because Graham is not going to be on next week because he's in Jacksonville watching the Ravens in Jacksonville play. Okay. So, Joy Deep, this is your invitation. You said you want to air out some laundry with the Falcons. Here's your invitation, please. I'd like to have you.
I mean, it's great because the Bucks beat the Falcons this past week, right?
Yeah.
This episode's over. This episode is over. But, all right.
All right. We'll see you next week. We're out.